It's 5 o'clock in the morning and we've just arrived at APH Airport parking, and that is because we're here just about to head over to Manchester Airport, where we've got an 8 o'clock flight where we're going to be flying over to Spain to go and compete in this year's Iberian Masters. We're going to pick up the hire car in Alicante. We're then going to drive up the east coast of Spain, up past Benidorm, up to the town of Calera, which is where the event is based. Well, we've landed on time at Alicante Airport. Behind me is the famous carousel. Those that watched this film for the first time that we came, this is where I was stood for nearly 2 hours waiting for my tattle, which had come over on the plane. However, that is when we found out that it wasn't even on the plane. It took them 4 days to get my tattle to me that trip, but that's not happening now because our tattle is going to be at the hotel for us in a day or two. So that's all sorted. All we need to do now is just find out where the car hire place is, and then we're going to work our way up towards Calera. Well, we've checked into the hotel and it's absolutely beautiful. I'll be absolutely honest with you. I know lots of you obviously want to see fishing and that sort of thing, but it's easy to forget, you know, that there are some really nice places out there that you can actually stay in when you're on events like this. It's an absolute beautiful beach. You know, this is a very popular holiday resort for the Spanish, and obviously when you see hotels like this on the seafront, you can see why people would want to come here. It's buffet style dining as well. That's breakfast and evening meal, and as you can see through the windows, you know, the view of the bay is absolutely stunning, so definitely no issues there. Well, good morning everybody. It's Tuesday morning. Yesterday was a really long day, I'll openly admit, and we've lost an hour, which is only an hour to UK time, but I'm here outside the tattle shop. This is, as you can see, Quinta Pesca. Now this is the shop, the tattle shop of the organisers basically for this event. Now this is a really big shop, there's loads of stock in here. I can't go through it all with you, but the plan for today is basically I'm going to get some bait, just some fresh maggots and stuff, and then it's about 6 miles back down the motorway to the venue at Fortaleny, which is where I'm going to fish today, which I think there are 2 sections there. Mark Morris is down there, and Ken Portus, so I'm going to go down there. They're the ones that have brought the tattle over in the van, so I'm going to go and get my gear off them. I've got my vehicle there, which I'll show you. It is a smaller vehicle than last year, so I think it might be a tight squeeze for all the gear I've got. I'm just going to get some fresh bait, jump back in the car, get down to Fortaleny, and that's where I'll be able to just have a proper check-in with you. I'm going to get some gear out, have a little bit of a fish as well, and I'll show you the kind of kit I'm going to be using, and you might even have a bit of fun watching me trying to get all my gear in that tiny little 1.3 Citroen. 1 litre of white maggots. That was a really steady drive from the tattle shop down here. We're down at Fortaleny now. Now this is the bottom end. This is in previous years what they use for the match fishing event, which is pole fishing and float fishing. However, for this event, we're using this stretch as well. So there are going to be 2 sections down here, and 1 section above the weir at Riola. So we've got quite strong wind blowing. There we go, Ken's down there. Ken's already had 6 or 7 fish. I think Joe's down there. I think Mark Morris is going to fish down there, and Gav Wright. They've just gone off to the tattle shop. And then just down there, as you can see, I've already unloaded the van. That is the van that's come over here with about 6 lots of gear in that Mark Morris and Ken Portus have driven over. That's my hire car there, there's Dad. He's just about to get the chair out and enjoy the sun. Mark Morris is there. Mark is now fishing, he's only just started, and I've got my gear out of the van. Everything's labelled up, as you can imagine. That's just to make everything so much easier. When you've got 6 lots of kit in a van like that, it's important to make sure you know whose gear is what, isn't it? That just helps avoid mistakes. These steps are a little bit precarious, I think that's the word, and I'm going to fish here today. I'm going to have a few hours, I'm going to get in down there bottom of those steps. I can get in there, I don't need to be close to the water's edge. And as you can see, there's a hell of a lot of rough debris across there under that far bank. Now the reason for a lot of that is the massive floods that Valencia suffered last year. Literally within hours of us leaving here last year, the water was over that wall. It was above that. So as you can imagine, running through here, it was like a raging torrent. And with that, there's been a lot of damage along that far bank. It was quite messy anyway over there, but as you can see, there's lots of trees, reeds, bushes, there's all sorts being washed in there, you know, just through those damages from the floods. And so it's going to make fishing over there even more difficult from what it has been in previous years. And even right down there to the right, you can see some of these snags and features aren't that obvious. That one, for example, because it hasn't got any greenery or cover on it, who knows how big that is underneath the water. So yeah, it's going to be very, very difficult deciding where to fish. Ken behind me, I think he's had about 6 fish already. He's only been fishing about an hour and a half, 2 hours. What we are seeing now on the fishing front, the changes wise, is that there are lots of small fish, i.e. small carp, literally 4, 5, 6 ounce fish. We have had an influx of smaller carasio. That was about 4 years ago. However, those numbers dropped off and the few carasio that were there were bigger. However, now we're seeing lots of smaller fish. So it's looking like there may be more bites to be had this year, albeit from smaller fish. So I'm going to get in, have a few hours fishing, and I'll let you know the kind of kit that I'm using. I'll show you the setup and just what my thoughts are preparing for tomorrow, which is the real first full day of practice. Well, that's been a really interesting workout. Hopefully it's given me a good heads up of what to expect over the next few days. I'm all packed up now, just about one of the last ones on the bank. I think there's one lad here just having a look at the pegs. But it's been very, very interesting. I've ended up with 5 carp, 4 of those really little carp, 1 eel and 2 catfish. And I think I've learned something, but obviously, you know, I'm going to learn about that more tomorrow. It's been a very, very hot day. There's been lots of flies and wasps and all sorts around today, but it's really given me a good heads up about what I want to fish tomorrow and what could happen at the weekend. Hello, hi. I'm all packed up now. We're going to head back to the hotel now for some hot food. I'm looking forward to a shower and get cleaned up and everything. However, I have got the big task now of trying to find out if I'm going to get everything into my car. Well, that's all the kit. Do you think all that there, and Dad, of course, can't leave him here, is going to fit in there? I'm not so sure, and if I am going to get it all in, I think I might have to break everything down. I don't know, but first things first is I'm going to get the casting mat down to protect this, because I don't want any expensive valeting bills when I return the car. Is that going to shut? Oh, not quite right. And rods are going to be separating me and Dad. Let's see if that's done it. Success. We've got room for you, Dad. It's Thursday afternoon. It's just gone 1 o'clock, and to be honest with you, I've just had 2 of the very, very best days I've ever had on this venue. It's been absolutely ridiculous, the number of fish that I've actually caught over the last 2 days, and it's like a completely different venue from when we've been here before, certainly in March. So in a moment, we're going to be heading up to the Fortaleny Fishing School, where that is where the event gets off to its official opening, where we all go and have some paella. The organisers have organised that for us, a nice meal and some drinks up there, and that's where all the competitors will meet, and that's where we'll see a lot of them for the first time, and that's a really nice social hour that just kind of kick-starts the event. Yeah, I mean, the sun's shining, the weather clearing up. They have forecast some rain for the weekend, but as regards the fishing, it's been a very different venue. And as I'm speaking, Mark Eves at the next peg. has just netted one. I'm not sure how many he's had now. He's had it. He's had 2 or 3 now. That's a good fish. Next to him down there is Phil Ringer. He's caught some fish as well, and next to him is Graham Morris. So we've all kind of fished in a line here, which is good. I've just set up my rods. It's basically going to be a 2-line approach. So I'm going to have 1 line short, which has been my main line to be a fair, which is where I've been catching at, you know, sort of 8 to 10 meters. And then I will be having a line right across each day. Obviously, the features and things will be determined by the peg that I draw. So basically I've got 4 rods here. Okay, so I've got 4 the Horizon Ultra Pros, and I've basically got 2 13-footers, so that's the 13-foot distance, another 13-foot distance, and then I've got 2 12-footers, and that is it. That's all I've got there. I have got other rods in my bag, 11-footers, but I just don't think they're going to come into it. On this occasion, I've got these coupled with XR reels. Now, you might be wondering why I'm not using HX Pros, and that's just basically because I'm fishing super strong line, and it's the only time I use these reels and these spools for this venue. I use them once a year, so I don't see the point in having those tied up on expensive HX Pro reels, which I use a lot of back home. Well, it's Thursday, tea time. We are done with practice now. Obviously, it's been a little bit unprecedented, and certainly in my experience of this event, for how many fish I've actually caught. It's unreal, and I know for a fact that it's been way too good, so I don't really want to read too much into that. Obviously, I can only fish the pegs that I'm going to draw. The actual draw for the rotations is done tonight, so Thursday night, 8 p.m. There's going to be a draw for the rotations, so I'm going to know which sector or which section I'm going to be in each day. So there are 3 different sections, and so you rotate through them. There is one at Riola, which I haven't fished yet on this particular trip, and then there are 2 at Fortaleny, which is where I've spent all 3 days. The draw is going to be so important as well. I've made my mind up this year. I'm not going to overcomplicate things. I'm going to keep it incredibly simple, which is what you'll see throughout the 3 days of competition. So tonight we'll know our draw rotation, and then in the morning there will be a draw at 8 o'clock for our pegs. The insects have been out today, and the eagle-eyed ones amongst you will probably spot that I've got one ear that's much bigger than the other one. Look. And that's because I've been stung not once but twice right on my ear, and look at the size of that ear compared to that one. It's section draw time. So that's the draw rotation done. My rotation is 2, 1, 3. That basically means that tomorrow, the first day of competition, I will be heading to section C and D, which means Fortaleny, which is where I've fished the last 3 days. And then on day 2, I will be heading up to Riola, which is the section that I haven't fished yet. And then the final day, I will be heading back to Fortaleny, where I'll be fishing down there for the 3rd and final day. The draw is now going to be at 8 o'clock in the morning for the pegs, and we haven't got any restrictions on what time we can go to our pegs in the morning. So as soon as the draw's done, we can jump in the car and the vans and just head straight up to the venue and go and get ready for the 11 o'clock kickoff. Well, good morning everybody. It's just come up to 7:30. It's day 1 of competition outside the hotel, and the plan is basically collect the bait from here, which has been delivered to us by Quinta Pesca in the van there. I've got 3 litres of white maggots on order, so I'm going to get those in the car, and then the plan is to head inside, go and get some breakfast, and then the draw will be done at 8 o'clock, where you can actually go in and witness the draw yourself inside, or they will just post it on Facebook a few minutes later, so that you don't have to go in and see the draw if you don't wish. And as soon as the draw's done, there aren't any restrictions on heading off to your pegs or anything like that. So as soon as the draw's done, when I've had some breakfast with Dad, we could just have a nice steady drive up to the venue for a 11 o'clock start. The bags come in litres, well basically 3 litres of maggots. Just for those interested, they actually come supplied in bags like this, and these bags are actually perforated. They've got little holes in them. You won't make it out now, it's too dark. Little holes in there which keep the maggots live, so you're not cutting the air off from them. So I've got 3 of those. I've got a few left over from yesterday, and then I think the other main bait, or up to now, over the last couple of days of training, is going to be those. C2 is the draw, so that is second from end peg. I've never had an end peg on this venue, and usually end pegs are an advantage. However, it is just where Morris fished yesterday, and he caught lots and lots of fish, but a lot of them were those smaller hand-sized carp. So it sounds like there could be quite a few bites to be had. I'm just going to drive up to the venue now, get parked up, and I'll talk you through the approach as soon as I've seen the peg. Lovely sunrise, there we go. These are the steps down, no wind at all. They're the steps down there. And my peg is somewhere here. Let's have a look. It will be marked on the railings on here. I'm parked there because that's where the steps are, in case you're wondering. There we go, C2. Nice platform, quite high off the water. I thought I was nearer to that, where all the banks collapsed. The mosquitoes are out in force today. I've been bitten again on my ears. That's what happens this time in the morning when it's like this. That sun is just coming up over those trees. Initial thoughts on the swim. It's high up off the water, which, you know, obviously most people would prefer to be lower down. So I've got the 4 metre keep net, so that's not really an issue, but obviously it might make it harder work if I am catching with the landing net handle. Lots and lots of bleak moving around, as you can see, but as you'd expect, they aren't the target. Quite a bit of broken bank here as well, so there's a lot of weed and stuff here. I can try and cut some of that back. I've got a weed cutter with me, but I think I'm probably going to fish that short line with I'm going to have a 13-foot rod set up on that as well, just to give me a chance of keeping the fish out there if I do hook any decent fish. It's going to be 2 12s, 2 13s across there. It doesn't look too bad, to be fair, but there aren't any kind of holes, as they say, to get really close into that other bank. That looks about the cleanest, slightly to the left. Here has got lots of overhang, but I'll get a bomb on obviously and see what it's like in there. It looks like that's going to be the favoured spot, just slightly to the left. We can get that a little bit further in, and hopefully it's clean on the bottom for me to fish it. And the other line that I'm going to fish as well as that one is that short line that I've caught on. The last 2 days I've been just down there, just before the bend, and by far my best line has been 9 metres. So I'm going to get a bomb on and have a look what it's like at that range. I know they caught some fish here yesterday, really close in, but obviously, you know, I don't know what percentage of those fish were caught within match times. You know, I know some anglers did fish on until 5 o'clock, which is an hour after our match, so I've got to bear that in mind. I'm hoping that's going to be the line. I've got to be absolutely honest. I'm hoping that 9 metre line or thereabouts. I'm going to get a bomb on, make sure it's nice and clean. There's a fish there in front of peg 1. Peg 1, obviously it's a bit messy there because he's going to have to cast to his right, I would imagine, because all that broken bank and everything that's gone in is literally almost halfway across the river, isn't it? So I'm going to get some gear sorted out. We've got loads of time, so I'm not even going to do my sticky mag and stuff yet. But I think it's going to be sticky mag and pellets, and then possibly wafters as well. It's about 30 minutes before the start. Thankfully it's cooled down a little bit. It's nowhere near as humid as it was, and we've been absolutely destroyed with the flies and mosquitoes. Eugene?
Hi Jimmy!
Hello mate! Been absolutely destroyed with the mosquitoes and everything, but thankfully we've got a bit of cloud now. It's gone a little bit cooler, because that was going to be absolutely horrendous if it had stayed like that. So everything's just about done. I've got my pellets in there doing, I've got some maggot glue in there, or sticky mag as a lot of you know it as. One of the things with this competition is you get a packed lunch on the days of competition. I've got a litre bottle of water there. In here I've got a nice baguette with something on it. I haven't looked yet, and there's a bit of a dessert in there and a chocolate bar and a banana. So there we go. I'm hoping, obviously, I'm going to be way too busy to eat any of those. However, we've got an extra one, so that is Dad's packed lunch for the day. There you go, Dad. They've done you a packed lunch just for you.
Who's done that?
The organisers for you.
Oh, Jim, that's brilliant.
Alright, so you got a banana in there, chocolate bar, a baguette sandwich and a dessert.
Oh,
Okay.
fabulous, Jim.
Alright, see you in a bit.
Okay, thanks.
Eugene is on C3. Do you fancy it, mate?
Hello Jimmy, I'm
Good morning.
glad to see you
Good,
today.
you too, mate. What do you think to your peg?
And my peg is okay.
Yeah?
I have only position in front because I have plenty of big rocks here.
Oh, down here,
Yes,
big boulders.
I cannot fish there.
Okay.
But I have very new. Look, the hole
Yes.
look perfect. I
Is
don't know.
it clean in there?
Yes, yes.
You can fish that.
I will try.
Yeah.
But look, when I check the bottom there, my sound, I don't know how to say, 2 carp was there.
Right,
So
okay.
the carp is there, it's not in the hole.
Just there.
Yeah.
Alright, okay then. Alright.
But we are ahead of the sector. It's perfect. No problem. I feel good. The weather is perfect today. No wind. Sun is perfect.
Everything is perfect.
Yes, everything is perfect. We hope to catch fish, man.
Well, you have a good day, mate. I'll be able to keep my eye on you.
I will be there.
Okay. Good luck. Good luck.
Same.
So, as regards the approach, I've only got 2 lines. I've got one tight across, and then I've got that other one down here at slightly offset to the right, where the bottom seems a little bit cleaner at 9 metres. I think I'm going to start short. It's a bit of a risk. I'm pretty sure everybody down here is going to start across, but I'm going to feed across. We get 10 minutes pre-baiting, so there's a 10-minute pre-baiting period at 10 to 11, and then we can start fishing at 11. So I'm going to put some bait across there underneath that other bank. I'm also going to feed on that 9 metre line, but I'm going to start at 9 metres. I'm not going to spend too long there. Probably just have 5 minutes, 10 minutes, just to see if there is anything there on that line. Because if I can catch there all day, then, you know, the one thing about that line is that you're not fishing really tight to features like you are over there. So your bite to fish in the net ratio is much higher. It's just been a lot more efficient. So I'm going to do it. I'm going to have 10 minutes short just to see if there is anything on that line. If there isn't, then I will go across there. But basically, the bait tray, fish there rising opposite Eugene. I've got 2 litres of white maggots, all covered with the maggot glue. So in other words, fishing it like sticky mag. And then I've just got some of the F1 micro pellets. Thank you, Cyprian, mate. Good luck. A bag, well, it's a bag and a half of F1 pellets, feed pellets. I've got maggots for the hook, and I've got some wafters, and that is it. So I'm going to start in the middle on that 9 metre line. I'm going to put a mixture of micros and maggots in on that line, and kick off with 3 or 4 white maggots just to see what's there. So I'm just going to put 2 in on that 9 metre, then a couple across. I'm going to feed the 9 metre line first. So we've got 10 minutes to do this, there's no rush. That's it. Good luck, lads. Good luck, mate. I'm just going to kick off on that 9 metres with maggots, just to see if there's anything there. Indications there, little indications. There could be bleak there, you know. When you're fishing a bait like this, you can see how many bleak there are. They could be having a go at the bait, but that's something that we'll find out if that's going to be a problem. We're just coming up to 10 minutes. I'm getting lots of indications on this. There are lots of bleak there. I think there are only little fish. Lad on my left on the end peg, he's had one about as big as his hand, but he's just looked a proper one now by the looks of it. Other than that, there's been one other fish caught down to my right. I think I don't know if Eugene's caught. He was saying 1 carp, 100 grams. I wasn't sure if he was referring to his. That's it. We haven't seen any other, you know, big fish caught or anything like that. I can feel this grating against the snag. The tip's just flown round. I can feel that. Might have just come through it, I think. The lad on my left is just netting that fish. This was just a bite out of nowhere. But thankfully it was on this 9 metre line, which is the line I'd like to catch on. It could be a catfish. I think it is. It looks like one, unless it's one of those really dark carp. There we go, we're off the mark. Thank you, mate. No. Really long, these fish, that's why they fight so hard. Wild carp. Look how long it is. It's a fantastic start. One of them fishing less than 20 minutes. More importantly, it's a fish on that line. A really funny indication on this one. Thought it was a line bite, but I picked up on it. I hooked into something. Whether it's upright or not, I don't know. Carp. Well, we are 1 hour in, and it's certainly not fishing how it has been doing this week, and it's very different. It's very hot now. The sun's broke through now. There's no very little breeze, so it's just trying to be a bit patient. We are chasing it. You know what we've been catching over the last 2 or 3 days. You know, it's certainly not looking like it's going to fish as good as that, or certainly not now. It might do later on. Lad on the end peg, he's got 2. I've got 2. Carp and a couple about as big as my hand. Eugene on my right, I think he's got about 3 as big as his hand, and then the next lad down, he's had 2, and the 2 he's had I think were caught short, so it's about 6 metres. Just had my first bite across underneath that other bank. Been out there 3 minutes. Oh, it's come off. It's the first fish I've lost all week. It's the first one I've pulled out of all week. We're 2 hours in, and Eugene has just netted his first carp. That's his first one. After 2 hours. I've just lost that carp, so I should have 3. You're always expecting to lose fish on this venue when you're fishing across, but you don't want to lose them down the middle through hook poles. That just makes it even worse. So I've still got 2. Eugene's got 1 now. The lad on the ends, he had that little flurry. He had 3 and 3 casts, so he's still on 5, and that's it. One of the organisers has just come down and will just let me know what it's fishing like further down. 6 carp is best. Phil Ringer's got 4 that he knows about, and he says most of the fish were caught in the first hour. Just got ages without a sign. I've really slow indication on the tip. I thought, is that a line or is it on? And it kept doing it and doing it and doing it. I picked up and I pulled into a carp. Do you think that was far looked? We've got 50 minutes left, and Eugene's just had his second carp. Looks a good fish as well, that one. I'm still on 4. There's some small carassios and little carp there, but to be honest, I'm desperate for carp. The lad on the end peg's running away with it. I can't catch anything across. In this last 50 minutes, I desperately need at least a couple more carp. I've just looked at fish, and there's less than 4, well, just over 4 minutes left. This is international rules, so any fish that you have on the line needs to be in the landing net and out of the water by the final whistle, unless it doesn't count. It's about, not a huge fish. That should help me land it. There we go. It's got to clear of the water. There we go. A few seconds. No less than a minute left. Well, not a massive fish, but if it was a massive fish, I might not have landed it. How close was that? Done. 7 carp. As I said right at the beginning, this is an absolutely brutal venue at times. I finished with 7 carp and a few of those smaller fish, a Carasio. I know for a fact that those 2 carp that I've lost, well, I've lost 3, but I'm not going to count the one that was foul hooked with the scale. But the 2 that I pulled out of are definitely going to cost me 100%. Even one of those is going to cost me. But you know, it was in the middle. I got the fish away from any snags and stuff, and then just pulled out of them. There were brand new hooks that I'd got on as well. So you know, you never know if the fish is even hooked right. You know, I've had 1 or 2 that have been hooked here today, and so that's going to happen. So the lad on the MPEGs ran away with it. I know that, and I haven't heard anything about the rest of the section. So I'm going to be the second one to weigh in. So I'm just going to need to get these rods out of the way, and it'll be interesting to see what these weigh. But more importantly, where it's going to put me in the section. $16 kilo I've weighed. I didn't really think about what I'd got, but that's obviously in English money, £30 plus. I'm pleased with it. I'll be honest. I don't think it's going to be enough for a top 3 or anything like that. I don't. I'm not going to dwell on lost fish, because I dare say that other people have lost fish as well, you know, so everybody's going to get that this week. MPEG, he's ticked over steadily all day. He did have a couple of runs of fish where he's had 2 or 3 and as many casts, but he's ended up with 28 kilo. So hopefully my 16, you know, I'd love it to be top 3, you know, I'd be happy with that, but I've got a feeling it might be 4th or 5th. Well, good morning everybody. It is day 2 and we're about to conduct the draw. Yesterday was nowhere near as good as what I wanted. I have no idea that they caught down to my right hand side. There were some big fish caught. Not that many more than me. Some people had only got 7 or 8 fish, but some of them were huge carp in the middle part of that section. So unfortunately I ended up 5th with 16 kilo. So I had a nice day's fishing, but that's put me on 5 points going into today. Now, as regards the actual frame for this competition, they are paying out the overall top 15. So at this stage, that's really what my target is. I can't win the competition, and to be honest, there were lots of anglers that kind of blew out, but there were lots and lots and lots of lost fish. As you know, I lost 2 fish off the hook properly and 1 foul hooker, but some people lost up to 6, 7 and 8 fish. And even anglers like the angler on my left, who won the section with 28 kilos, he actually lost 6 fish. And we've got anglers here that finished 3rd or 4th in their section, and they've lost 6 and 7 fish as well. So it could have been a lot worse for me. But we're about to do the draw. I'm heading up to Riola today, which is up near the bridges, which some of you will be familiar with from previous competitions on here. And it's a different type of river up there. There are less features, but again, the draw is going to be massive. A5. Now that is the peg that won the match yesterday. Now there's nothing from what I hear noticeable about that peg. I don't think there are any distinctive features or anything like that, and from what I hear, the match winner fished with maggots, so that's obviously something I need to bear in mind. I don't think he had many fish. I think he only caught about 8 fish, but for some reason there were huge fish. Speaking to the lads last night, I don't know why that is. But obviously, I'm just going to get up there, have a look at the peg, and it'll be interesting to see if there are any features there and what the conditions are like. There we go. A5. That looks pretty featureless to me. Bit of weed down there on the inside to the left, bit to the right, but it could be very rocky that close in. And across there, some rock there, and then the matting, and then nothing. Well, the sun's up now. It's getting really hot. There's plenty of mozzies and flies around now. I've got Eugene at the next peg again. There he is. And it's going to be a very different year today. It's just a different stretch of river. Yesterday, obviously, you saw that I caught lots of, there were some smaller fish there. There are some smaller fish here. But, you know, as we've already said, this peg actually was top weight on the match yesterday. And he actually weighed 31 kilos. And he only had 6 fish for that. So those fish are over 5 kilo average a piece. So it's just telling you that whilst there might be a good weight, you know, 20 kilos, 30 kilos, whatever might be available, I'm sure there will be that weight available somewhere here for the person that does it right. You still maybe not after many bites. So it's a very different stretch of river. So let me just show you my setup and show you my approach. So that's looking back down towards the bridge. Down there is the end peg next to the bridge. That's where Marquis was yesterday. Joe's drawn that peg today, so he'll be fancying that. And the next peg, I've got Eugene. And then here is me. So this is A5. A4 is on my left. Now that's the peg that Graham Morris, a good friend, was on that peg yesterday. He was second in this section on that peg, and he caught, casting across to those reeds, or those weeds should I say, along that far bank. So he was second in the section and he caught everything across there. Now when we talk about tactics and things, you know, I'm a massive believer that, you know, that there aren't really areas that are super productive on this stretch. I just think if you do it right, and there's a few fish there, you're going to catch some fish. And when I say do it right, I'll give you a prime example. Graham was on that peg yesterday and he caught everything on a method feeder over there with pellets and wafters, okay? However, this peg won the match, just one peg away, and he caught everything on maggots. So I'm feeding a lot of maggots as well. So that just shows you, you know, about decision making. And today, obviously, I'm going to do a combination of those. So let me just quickly show you the setup because I've not really done this as yet. I've got the same 4 rods you saw me set up. Okay, so I've got 2 12-foots there for the inside and 2 13-foots for the far bank. Now I've got a line set up just to the right between there's like a tree there, just on line with that, and it's about 1.5 meters off that other bank, and it works out at exactly 39 meters. And my short line is just in line with the end of those trees there, about there, and it works out on my clip, it's just under 10 meters. It's a nice smooth bottom there, but it is deep there, and that is where, you know, I plan on targeting a little bit later on. Usual setup, obviously 4 meter keep net there. I've got the brolly up. There is a chance, they've said it's a 10-20% chance of rain today, and that's it. I mean, everything's self-explanatory there, isn't it, as regards the setup. So that's the approach. I've got 2 lines. However, that long line, the 39 meter line, which is over there, I've got 2 rods set up for that, 13-footers. One's got a pellet feeder on that I can fish with sticky mag, which, you know, I'm quite happy to do that from the off. And then the other one's got an open method feeder, a 30-gram open method feeder, because like I said, Graham caught on the method feeder at the next peg, and that's clipped up obviously at the same spot. So that is going to be my main line for the majority of the match, I think. And I haven't had loads of sleep. Dad's in the car, he's fast asleep, has been awake most of the night, so it's a little bit tiring, I'll be absolutely honest on this one, but he's the reason I'm here. So I can't complain about that, can I? Because if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be here. So it's a couple of minutes to pre-baiting. I said I was going to put 4 across. I'm actually going to put 6 because 2 of them I'm actually going to put some micro pellets in as well, just because I've caught better over those, or I've caught over pellets as well. So I'm going to do that, and then I'm going to feed quite positive down this inside line. Even though I don't plan on going on that yet, I am going to put quite a bit of bait in on it, so that if anything finds it, hopefully it's going to stay on it. The 13-foot rod for this cast is all about the wall behind me. You're probably wondering why I'm using a 13-foot rod to cast 39 meters. It's just to get clear of that wall behind. It's just one less thing to think about A shorter rod, obviously you might need to put a casting mat there because you'll be dropping in front of the wall, but with a 13 footer you're over the top of it, especially if you stand up. We've been fishing 28 minutes. I haven't seen any fish caught that way. I haven't had a sign. But Eugene's playing one. Only a small fish. That's the first fish I've seen caught. Looks like a catfish, a little catfish. He's just swung that in. So that's the first fish that we've seen caught. Catfish, well done, mate. Now, interestingly, whenever I've fished on this particular bit before, I've always fished another line about 3/4 of the way across. And that's the line that Eugene started on and caught a catfish, and that's the line that she's fishing as well. So I've got I didn't really mention it, but I've got a 12 footer there that is set up and ready to go for that, just in case. I didn't really want to go spreading my bait in 3 different areas, but already that might highlight that that could be a better line to be fishing. Eugene fishing that line, I think he will have spoken to the match winner from yesterday. I'm pretty certain he will have spoke to him and found out how he caught. And like I say, Eugene started on that line as well. And that's not a line that I've got fed or anything yet, but she's had 2 in 2 casts now. She's the only one I've seen catch any net fish, and that's the line she's on. I did obviously watch where she cast in that time, so the fish could be in that deeper water. I'm just going to give this, I've just put the method feeder over that same line, so I'm still out there at 39 metres over those maggots what I've been putting in. So I've just got a method feeder over there with a wafter on. I'm not getting any signs, there aren't any indications, but even at this stage now, considering whether to open up that 3rd line or at least just to feed it and try it. I think what I'll do is I'm going to give it another 20 minutes on this. This is a line I can keep returning to. With that other line, I've got it clipped up ready to go. I was hoping I wouldn't need it, but it's there. So what I'll basically do is I'll set it up. If I go on it, I'll just put 2 or 3 feederfuls in on it, you know, give it 10 minutes and then cast on it then. And I'll probably do that with maggots, I think. So we've just come up to the end of the first hour, and I'll be absolutely honest with you, I didn't fish that last cast out. I thought I'm not going to leave it any longer. Eugene on my right had that little catfish. He's had a little carasio and another small fish. The angler on my left has still got 2, but all those fish have all been caught on that 3/4 line. We'll call it a 3/4 line. So I didn't wait any longer. I've just fed it. I just picked that 4th rod up, and that's clipped up at 33 metres. And I've just put 5 feederfuls in on it of sticky mag and 1 of micro pellets. And I've literally just gone straight on it now. Yeah, I just didn't want to leave it too long, you know. I think it can't be coincidence that all the fish that have been caught so far have all been on that same line, and I'm pretty certain that the anglers either side of me will know what line the winner caught on yesterday or what he'd fished. I'm pretty certain, because I think they all know each other. So I just didn't want to waste any more time. So I've fed it, I've fed it quite positive. And that's it. So I'm going to see what happens over the next half hour or so. So obviously I've got 2 lines out there now. I've got one at 33, which is down in that deeper water, and one at 39, which is tight across. And I can just rotate them 2 if I need to. 3rd cast on that new line. I've had a couple of tiny little indications, but I couldn't tell if they were small fish, and then this has only been in 3 minutes. Finally started on the wrong line, didn't I? Let's be honest. Not a massive fish, but I think it's as big as the ones that I've seen caught next door. But more importantly, it's a fish in the net. I think it might be a signal of where the fish were caught yesterday. Lovely looking fish, beautiful. This is very next cast. It's only been out there 2.5 minutes. Really solid bite, that one. Didn't keep steaming, it just just stayed solid. He's turned around and come back. So I am clipped up on this rod. So that's something I need to remember. Come out, come out, come out. Just found a snag. Don't know if that's still on. Yes, it is. Come on, come on, come on, come on, come on. Now that's in another one. Oh no. It's still on. I can feel it. I don't think that's on. I think it's gone. It's just done me. This is gone. That's done me in the snag. Gone. We are into the final 2 hours and I haven't had another fish, and I haven't seen another fish caught down to my right at all. Nobody's had any more fish that I can see. I haven't seen any other fish caught except next door, or next but one. She's just had 2 in 2 chucks. She's gone down her inside. She's boshed it just like I've done, boshed it, and then she's gone straight back on top of it with her I don't know if it's a method or a pellet feeder, I'm not sure, but and she's had 2 in 2 chucks, 2 great big carp. So I don't know if she's got 4 now. I think she's the only one I've seen catch. She's boshed out there on that 3/4 line, but not being back on that. She's focusing on the short line, and the only other angler I can see to my left on the bend, I've only seen him catch 1 small fish. So she's absolutely flying at the minute. But like I said, the last 2 fish have been caught on this inside line, which is just like where I'm fishing now. I keep feeding it, keep putting 1 or 2 in on it. Well, I tried putting 1 in, obviously I didn't get anything, so then stepped it up to 2. She's putting 2 in, I don't know what's in there, whether it's sticky maggots or pellets, I've no idea, hemp, corn, who knows. I've just gone back onto that 3/4 line, I've just filled it in down that inside, gone on this 3/4 line, I've had 2 casts on it. This has been out there 3 minutes and it's ripped the rod round. I had to take the clip off, just from nowhere. Oh, I got that one anyway. We're into the final 30 minutes. I've still only got 2 carp. I keep having a look on that short line where I've fed really heavy. I'll be absolutely honest with you, it just doesn't feel like it's going to go. I'm not getting any indications. There's a wasp chasing me. Go away. That's what happens here. You have mosquitoes for the first hour and a half till the sun comes up, and then you get millions of flies throughout the day, and then about 3 o'clock all the wasps arrive. It's eventful. I'm just looking down at A3. About 20 minutes ago I saw him back at his measuring sticks, so I thought, well, perhaps that obviously meant he might have had another fish. I haven't really been watching him, but I've just looked at him now and he's playing another fish. So I've got a funny feeling someone's just been down and said that they've been catching up there round the bend. I mean, A1 is the end peg anyway. That is, you know, a really fancied peg on here. It's the end peg. A1, A2. You can just see A3, and then 2 to my left is A4. It sounds like I might just be on the edge of the carp, to be honest. A bit sad, really. To be fair, it's unfortunate. The venue's been fishing so well through training week, but I think we're obviously seeing it slowing down now. You know, when these fish get caught for 4 or 5 days on the trot, especially when they've been feeding so well. Eugene is now, with half an hour to go, he's back up his car now. He hasn't had a carp. The next lad along, he might be packing up as well. So it may suggest, we'll know better after the weigh-in, I might just be on the edge of them today. Over 2 minutes left. I've got to get this in before the whistle. It needs to be clear of the water if it's in the net. Just coming up to 2 minutes now. Where's it gone? 20 seconds to go. Oh, well, I'm not going to get back in and get another one now, am I? Oh dear. That happened yesterday, didn't it? There's no point in me rushing to get back in. Well, carp number 3. And that's time. What a venue. Well, there's obviously different ways of fishing on here, you know. Some people are piling lots and lots of bait in, corn, maggots, some are fishing pellets. There's so many different ways of fishing like this, and you know, I'll openly admit I don't feel like I've got it right, but definitely one fact I think, if we can draw something from today, is that I was on the wrong line for that first hour. I started across up over there, and I shouldn't have been on that. Should have been on that 3/4 line. It was quite obvious that. So that, and ironically, that hour was when a lot of people have had their bites, you know, or 2 or 3 of their bites, i.e. carp or other fish. And I obviously missed that window of opportunity. Thankfully, I managed to get a fish, and then obviously I've lost one as well. And then from then, there just hasn't been a pattern at all. Some of the fish caught to my left are really, really big, so I don't know if they've fished different baits from me. I don't know, but having heard that the lad who was on here yesterday fished maggots, that's where I've based most of my approach around. So there we go, 5 kilo something. I have beat one angler up to the left. Someone's had 2 kilo on, I think it was A2, but then you're looking at 20 kilos for any more points. Eugene, like I say, he's I don't know if he's last or not, I don't know what his fish have weighed, but yeah, it's an incredibly difficult venue. You have got to hope to draw a peg, but it's not easy to always get it right when you do draw the peg, because you know, you don't know whether it's going to be maggot day, pellets, corn, and where the fish are going to be, you know, even if they are in front of you. So yeah, it's going to make an interesting final day, and hopefully we're going to get plenty of fish tomorrow for the final day down at Fortaleny. Well, good morning everybody, welcome to day 3, and we're here for the draw. It's been a very long night, I'll be absolutely honest with you. Dad's not too well, but he'll catch up on his sleep today while I'm fishing. And we've got a couple of anglers who are on 2 points, so it's a very, very close top 10. We have got some English lads in there, which is always nice to see, but there's a real nice mix of nations in that top 10. So I'm heading down to Fortaleny today. I'm down in either section E or F, where hopefully we're going to catch a few fish. It did fish a little bit harder down there yesterday, however I still think you're going to need 20 kilos to win. E7 for me. I think I practiced on E2. And I also fished E3, it's just going around that bend. There were plenty of fish in practice anyway. I expect it to be a little bit slower. I'm not quite sure what the features are like there. I don't know if I'm going to have a decent four-bank chuck, but whatever happens, there will be some short fishing today. So I'm going to jump in the car, head on up to the venue, and I'll talk you through the approach when I see the peg. Breeze blowing up here today. It's much cooler, hopefully that's going to keep the mozzies away. There we go. E7. It's a few minutes to the off. That wind's got picked up a little bit now. It's just coming around to my left, as you can see. I think we are going to get some rain, I'm sure. There's it is forecast, it's saying there's something like a 40% chance of rain, but it's definitely looking that way. So I'm all set up, ready to go. All my bait's done. You know the rods, everything's the same really. But as regards the actual approach, I'm better off just pointing it out to you. So I'm going to kick off in that gap just there with the pellet feeder with maggots. That's why I'm going to kick off. It feels pretty clean just there. It actually works out on the sticks at exactly 33 metres. So that's why I'm going to start off. However, I have got a 13-foot rod set up, another 13-foot set up, the Horizon Ultra Pro, and I've got it clipped up at 10 metres. And what that's going to allow me to do is feed a short line here at 10 metres, which is a line that I caught a lot of fish on in training. But on that same range, I've also got, as you can see, there's these bushes down here. On that same clip, just here, in line with that dark hole there, I can fish that on the same range. So that is obviously for later on. And ironically, that spot just there, at that range that I'm got it clipped up at, is exactly the same depth as it is on that same line, just there straight in front of me. So that's it, three-pronged approach. I'm going to feed the long line to start with, and I am going to put a bit of bait on this line, just in case I've got to come off that line sooner, or it's very messy, or I'm losing fish and all that sort of stuff, because this line here is what I caught a lot of fish on during practice. So I'm going to kick off. I've got 3 maggots on. 3 maggots on. And that's all I put across there, just maggots to start with. And we'll just feel our way into it. Minutes in. We're 26 minutes in, and 6 minutes ago I hooked a carp and it literally bolted only 1.5 meters, 2 meters to the left where I hooked it, and it gone straight into that raft of reeds on the other bank. It didn't break me, but I pulled out of it. God, it's these. I don't know if it's adrenaline or what on this venue, but you know, you go from nothing to a bite where you nearly lose your rod, and then frantic battle trying to land each fish. That's good, we've got a proper one in the net. You see these wild long fish, aren't they? Really strong, powerful fish. We've been fishing 50 minutes and I haven't had a sign now for about 15 minutes on this line. I'm still fishing across. So I think what I need to do is, rather than just keep fishing this line without catching anything, I've only had those 2 signs of carp, the one that I lost, the one that I've landed. Well, I've obviously got that little one as big as my hand, but so what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up that 10 metre line now. So I'm just going to give this another minute or two, and if I don't get anything or catch a carp or get a sign of one, I'm going to just put one bait up feeder in on that 10 metre line, and then just have one more cast on this, and then I'm going to go on that 10 metre line. I'm not going to feed this one just yet. I'm going to feed that one just to see if we can catch anything in that open water. This line, it looks like it's gone dead at the minute, so I can obviously return to this at any stage. So that's the plan. There's nobody walking around, so I'm not getting to hear about if anything's been caught. I've no idea, so I've just got to fish my own match. Just coming up to the 2 hour stage, and I've had to sack that 10 metre line off. There's too many small fish there, and to be honest, this long line, there are bleak and small fish out there just hammering the maggots. I've hooked another carp. It took me in that snag again, exactly like the first fish. Managed to get it out, but it's fishing hard all the way through by the sounds of it. Yes, that's a good fish to get, that one. Thought I'd really snagged me up that. I couldn't get the camera on quick enough, and I just had to hold and pull, and thankfully it came through. Oh, it's a catfish. That's why it was different. Yeah, I could feel it coming in differently, that one. Obviously a very different fish from what I used to catch him back home in England. Lovely little catfish. It's all extra weight going in the net. Well, there's 90 minutes to go. I said I was going to have a look on that short line, but I'm absolutely gutted because I just lost a carp, and it was just the way that I lost it. I've had a few small fish, so I've got two or three Carasio and some of those hand size little carp. Just about to have a look on this inside line, and I mean, playing around with the feed and stuff. And to be honest, I think it's best if you can put a few micro pellets in, and I've been putting a little bit of that hempen corn in as well, in with the sticky mag over there. I just definitely feel like it's better, and I just had that bite there. It was blatant, it was a carp, a proper carp, and I've hooked it, and as you can expect when I hook them, because I'm striking over to the left, that's pulling in the direction of that big snag over there, that big tree. So all I've done is I've just switched over to the right, and it just bottomed out way too quick. I just couldn't get the right angle on it. Even before it was trying to run, and I've gone to stop it, and to be fair, the angle in the rod, I just couldn't get the right angle in the rod. It was, you know, I was almost pointing at it, and it's broke me. So as you'd expect, I'm not going to go on that inside line yet, because obviously I just feel like there's obviously more carp available long. But you know, this is your decision making. This is, you know, this is where things are so important. You know, do I stay out there where I'm getting the odd small fish? And I've obviously hooked, well, that's 6 carp I've hooked now. I've landed 4. Do I stay out there, or do I risk coming off it and spending time potentially down this margin where I don't know what to expect from that line? I don't know. Five minutes to go. Not sure what this is, but I've got my stopwatch set. Set that going as soon as that hooter went. So this fish has got to be, as you know, cleared of the water by the final whistle, even if it's in the landing net. What a brilliant way to finish. Well, we've got 2.5 minutes left. That cast's a little bit different when it's empty. This needs to go straight around if it's going to go. Give me a chance of landing it. Just going to have to pick this up in case there's one on. That can give me a chance to wind it in. No. Well, yet again, another late fish. 17 kilo, 220, just missing out. 17 kilo, 500. has won the section. I obviously wanted to win the section. It would have been nice to finish on that. But I ended up second. There is a payout for second, but that has meant that he's going to win the festival on a perfect 3-point score. So we have been chatting all week about things. So I'm really pleased that the point that it's cost me has gone to him as a festival winner. But you know, let's be honest, I've had a fantastic day's fishing. I didn't realise quite how many fish I'd got. I've had a real mixed bag of fish. I fish for bites with maggots, that's what I've done. So yeah, it's going to be nice for a second in section. 2 points. But it's time to get all this gear packed away, and then we're all heading back to the hotel where we are going to be seeing tonight's presentation for the overall winners. Well, we're back at the hotel. We're just about to go into the presentation, which I will obviously show you the full result and everything. It's been a really interesting week for me, in so many ways. I've thoroughly enjoyed the fishing in the sense that there's been a lot more fish to have a go at. You know, everybody's caught a few fish this week, which is obviously very different from the match that takes place here in March, because obviously it's warmer, but there are lots of smaller fish as well, small carp, which bodes well for the future, hopefully. But for me, it's been all about Dad, really. I've got to be absolutely honest. That's the only reason why I've been here. It's been challenging, to be fair. I didn't think it was going to be too easy, but because he's been out of his comfort zone in a different hotel as well, he's needed assistance, help everywhere, right from serving and plating up his food to getting up 12 times a night to use the bathroom and all that sort of stuff. So it's been tiring, but in a funny way, it's kind of made me enjoy it more. You know, he's been thanking me at every turn just for bringing him, and that's kind of brought us closer, which I never thought that would happen or was even possible. But everybody here has been absolutely fantastic, even the anglers from the other countries. That this is the only time we see them, you know, and it really puts it into context about what fishing's all about. It's not just about getting results. When you come away from home to compete abroad, you know, it's as much of a social thing as well, you know, and it can be quite exciting, especially when, you know, you're fishing for hard fighting wild carp that will drag your rod in if you're not paying any attention. So it's been a very successful trip as far as I'm concerned in the Harrison household. And if you're thinking about coming and competing in this event, I strongly recommend doing it. You know, if you can afford it, just come and try it. You know, you'll either decide it wasn't for you but enjoy the experience, or you'll fall in love with it and you'll want to keep doing more of it. We're going to head in now for the results. It's been an incredibly close event, as you can imagine, and I just want to thank you all for following me on this journey and following my channel. There are lots and lots of exciting things coming up through this winter that I can't tell you about yet, but I just want to thank you all for following my journey on YouTube and in my fishing, and I really look forward to seeing you again soon.
For Jamie Minter. Andrei Gheorghiu. Winner, Adrian Casquale.
We've had to come outside because it's very noisy in there. Absolute massive congratulations, mate. How does it feel?
I don't have enough words to say what I feel now. Was 3 amazing days for me. Maybe I was a little bit lucky, to be honest.
How did training go for you?
Oh, really good. I suppose for everyone was perfect, but after this was really hard. When the competition started, was a massive difference between training days and the competition days. But this is happen every year, and you have to know this. If you catch good Monday, Tuesday, on the competition will be harder. But even like that, we are waiting for you here every year. It's a really nice place, nice people, and I'm enjoy every single day here, to be honest.
For people that are interested in methods and tactics, are you able to share anything with us? What have you focused on maggots? Has it been corn? Have you had a plan?
I already said this to the guy, to Iberian. It's a really simple fishing. It's only about maggots and sweet corn, nothing else. I don't try to complicate the fishing. It's simple. How the English people say, simple is the best. And was the same here.
Fantastic, mate. Well, we're assuming you'll be back here next year.
Definitely, I'll be
Okay.
here. Definitely, I'll be here.
Once again, massive congratulations and
Thank you. And
enjoy your evening, mate. You've deserved it.
Thank you. Appreciate. Thank you.
Fantastic, mate. Absolute awesome.